Okay, day 77, and we're off to check out the Kinchega National Park.
Yeah.
Nice little campground. Had a nice night.
Very dusty.
Yeah, very dusty here. And it looks like another beautiful day. See how many goats and, excuse me, emus we see
We
today.
reckon this was a good entry.
So we're just entering Kinchega National Park.
Yeah.
And
So we've got the camp information's in 5Ks and the historic Woolshed and visitors is in 15Ks.
Okay.
I think she said it was about a 20K
Yeah.
drive or something like that. So that's good.
and it's Burke country. Very, very dusty out here.
Yeah.
I'm glad Neil's driving. It's a pretty corrugated road, and it's like a layer of about 6 inches of
Yeah, in places
dust
there's a lot of
powder
bull
on
dust.
top of it,
Yeah.
like bull dust. So it's very skatey.
Yeah.
Not
Fun.
my cup of tea.
It's fun.
It's fun for me as a passenger.
And because I've done this, I'm now a worldwide rally driver.
Oh, that's right, you are.
Yeah. Thanks, Katie.
And because I'm videoing, I'm
You're a
not.
cinematographer.
Oh, cinematographer. I'm
Extraordinaire.
Yeah. It's a super wide road,
Yeah.
and in places it's quite smooth and bare.
And other places it's not.
Not so much. And good news, our aerial that fell off on another shaky road like this a few days ago
For the CB.
for the CB, and I drove over it, it actually is working, so that's good.
Yeah.
We were smart and took it off for this drive.
Yeah, I think it would have shaken the shit out of it.
Yep. And we've just turned on to the historic Woolshed Drive.
Yeah.
No goats yet.
No, haven't seen any goats. No emus, no. Oh, no, we haven't seen kangaroos yet.
Nope. Amazed at the width of the road. Not sure why it's so
Why would
wide.
it be this wide, eh?
But to me, it looks like a mine road, like something that's this,
Yeah.
this wide for Euclids.
For
Or
big trucks
Yeah.
and stuff.
so this is going into the Emu Lake camping area. We thought we'd just take a sticky
Looked like
beak.
fairly new, looks
Yeah.
like we got barbecues.
Oh, yes, barbecue. Yeah.
New.
There's toilets.
Toilets.
Oh, this is the camping area here.
Yeah, this is it.
Oh, this is it.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, this is it. Here you go.
So it's not near the lake at all.
Oh, well, maybe when the floods, maybe that's becoming a lake there.
I mean, it's a nice camping area. Oh, and I didn't explain the Menindee Lake. This national park is where all the Menindee lakes are in, I believe. The weather station needs a little repair. And the old clothesline. It was a massive operation in its day because at that end there was again a third more
Oh, almost double.
or almost double more.
What would be like that whole wing down there
Yeah.
on that side.
No longer existing. Yeah, 1,700 sheep a day
Going through here.
went through this. So, what is that?
So it says crab winch and boom were used to load great bales of wool onto bullock wagons for the short trip to the wharf at 3 Mile Point. The wool was transferred onto paddle steamers. In 1875, the year the woolshed was finished, 72,800 sheep were shorn.
Wow.
The wool clip sent down the river amounted to 1,421 bales, each bale averaging 100 pounds.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So these would be a boiler again?
Yeah, another boiler, and then of course the tractor thing.
Oh, look at the tractor.
It's got a steam tractor engine.
Jeez. That would have been impressive to see that baby going.
Yeah.
It was originally designed, originally they brought it here to dig earth tanks to provide stock with water. It proved to be as slow and costly, excuse me, to cart water for the boiler with bullock teams as it was to use the teams themselves to dig the tanks. The western end of the woolshed that we were talking about before, not actually known when it was demolished, although it was no longer standing in the 1920s. And it reduced the size of the woolshed by half. It's neat, all the old equipment. Blacksmith's bellows, plow, a mangle. I assume that's for processing the wool, but no idea how it was used. This is called the timber jinker, and it's made out of Red River gum trees, and basically was used as a cart. This is so cool. This is obviously the interior of the woolshed. And that there is a dust flocker. It was a system of drums that teased and pulled through the wool, letting the daggy bits and dust drop through the drums. Loud and dusty work, I'll bet. The separate engine room and elevated drive gear that powered the dust flocker showed that it post-dated steam power. So this was basically a fleece packer, or presser. So it would press all of the fleeces together.
Down here.
Yeah. So the pressed and sorted fleeces were put in these bins until there were enough to fill the bin to make a bale. So this is where the actual action happened, where they sheared the sheep. You've got the pens there where the sheep were, obviously, until they sheared them. So this shed was completed in 1875 and is one of the few existing wool sheds of that era. Bullock teams were used to cart the bales to a storage room on the bank of the Darling River, about 2 kilometers away. It was then held in storage until a steamer and barge came to transport it to market. That's kind of neat. The original shearers' quarters with the shearers of 1890 lined up outside. There's the wool-laden bullock wagons. Last shearing took place in May 1967. So this whole thing is built from river red gum and corrugated iron, transported up the Darling from the Murray on paddle steamers. I said all methods of shearing were used here. Annual blade, steam, kerosene, diesel, and electrical machine methods. Poor sheep would be terrified in here waiting their turn to be shorn. But at least they were shorn and then let go.
As opposed to the ones that were in the killing.
Yes. I'd much rather come to this shed. Thank you very much.
Could you imagine the noise in here with all the bleeding sheep and the people bent over, you know, shearing them, and the sound of the steam boilers making their stuff and the racket in here?
Oh, yeah, and the smell.
Oh, yeah. It's not great now.
No, it's not great now. So this is the machine room.
Looks like bird shit room, too.
It was used by the expert to sharpen the combs and cutters of the shearing handpieces. This was done on the grinding wheel mounted on a pedestal and driven by an endless belt connected to the main drive shaft on the board. So that would be this. Look at the old padlock. This is really interesting. It's an eerie feeling in here, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
feel like you definitely have stepped back in time. And as Neil says, just imagine in its heyday when it was full of sheep and people. So what is this thing?
Wool press.
That's another wool press.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, yeah. And that's the thing that they already told you about. Knock the dust out with. Look at that.
Like I was saying, with 1,700 sheep a day, they'd have to have at least these 2 wool presses. But then remember, the whole other side is gone, so there would have probably been 4 wool presses slamming away.
That's right. I like the dust flocker. To shake and beat the dust out of the wool.
And other bits.
And other bits, yes. That looks a little modern.
That does look a little.
Get a load of the size of the saw blades.
That's a big one.
And look at all the paraphernalia in there.
All the tongs and things. Looks like a smithy shop, actually.
And so here's the outside of where they were shearing, and all the sheep would come down those little ramps after they had their hair cut. Well, this is the bridge over not any water.
Bridge over not any water.
Yeah.
Soon to be, maybe, with all the water from Queensland.
Yeah, the water coming down from Queensland might change that. And this is the historic Woolshed shearers' quarters.
Yeah, is it?
So this is the killing shed. And they say from about 1950.
Oh, right. So this would be the pivot pole here.
Okay, so what did the pivot pole do?
Suspending the carcass, so they unchain that, chain up the sheep or whatever it is, and then they push that down, so then they're able to do all this sort of stuff. I'm thinking.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. And there's the pens where the poor sheep would be waiting their fate.
Yeah, find out.
Be interesting to see what that is. And neat old windmill. So this is a wheel-mounted boiler, and it was used to power the machinery. They don't know how old it is. And that's the cookhouse that has been restored. The fireplace there dates back to the 1880s, but the rest of it has been restored. In its heyday, they would have prepared meals for 64 shearers and other sort of stuff. And here we have the shearers' quarters. They now rent out the shearers' quarters, and they're allowed to use the restored kitchen. And the quarters date from the 1920s. They're now used as a district office and research facility. The veranda was added during the renovations to make the quarters more bearable in hot and wet weather. A devastating drought in the late 1900s combined with the collapse of the Australian economy spelt disaster for the pastoralists. Between 1894 and 1899, the number of sheep shorn in the Broken Hill district plummeted from 136,000 to 31,000. And it was also a combination of drought, intensive pastoralism, and devastating rabbit plagues slowly undermined the viability of grazing across western New South Wales. So the sheep would have all been down there and then herded up through here to there, waiting to be shorn. But again, much better to be here than way over there at the killing shed. Oh, look at that tree.
Isn't that great?
That's brilliant. And so there's that one. And that one. Oh, okay, so why there is this area. So the sheep were herded up here, so they could be held under cover so that if it rained, there would be dry sheep to continue shearing. Yeah, so they would have had them all packed in here. Quite a production line, actually. And there's the gate that would be opened or slammed shut to keep them in here. And this is inside the pens that they were in. And then through those doors they go out to the shears. I like the beam, the wall supports.
Yeah.
They're basically just
Chunks of trees.
chunks of trees. Ah, so up there are called sweating pens. The elevated sweating pens are a distinctive feature of the Kinchega Woolshed. So they get into the sweating pens where they'd spend about 2 hours cooling down before being sheared.
Because they'd be so hot.
Yeah, yeah. And here's all the old original fencing. And just imagine the massive number of sheep in here. Actually, in the 1870s, there was little wire used for the fences, and they were either drop pine or palisade, which was common in the outback as no fastenings were needed to hold the fence together. All that was needed was a lot of similar sized diameter posts and a long trench to stand them upright in. Soil was placed back in the trench and compacted to make a fence. Wow, that would be labor.
Just timber after timber after timber.
That would be so labor intensive.
Working dogs and stockmen.
When you figure the manpower that was required, and working dogs and the stockmen.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming the sheep would be rounded up by horseback.
Well, when you think about,
how else would they?
But putting 1,700 sheep through a day.
That's mind-boggling.
I don't know how many sheep a shearer was, 200 or whatever a day. So there's X number of shears, and there's the people working the floor, then the people bringing them up into there, and then there's the staff of cooking and the blacksmiths and all this sort of stuff. And then there's all the people that went out to bring the sheep from miles away.
Exactly.
That's 1,700 going through a day.
Yeah, without the, electronics and the equipment that we have today.
Yeah, well, and today it's probably motorcycles and blah, blah, blah.
But you're looking horseback.
Yeah.
That's just a good picture right there. We got the flies.
Looks like a well or something.
Looks like there was a well or something. This sheep spray was where the shorn sheep were sprayed to prevent them from becoming infested with lice and other pests. You know you're in the outback when you see the paddy melons.
Yeah.
And the kangaroo poo all around. It would have been a hot, dusty old existence here. Oh, physical labor in the heat.
You gotta be moving. I think it says you gotta do at least 20 km an hour.
Okay. This was definitely worth the stop. I found it quite interesting.
Very much so. Yeah.
And also the sort of eerie feeling in there.
Yeah. It's almost like you got the spirit of ghosts past. Yeah. Just hanging around, and you let your brain go, and you can hear the hubbub and the smells and stuff. It's kind of cool.
We've just turned off now onto Lake Drive, which should take us around the lakes. Can you go up closer to that sign so I can see what it says? Many of the trees in this area are special because they're very old, but they may drop branches or fall over suddenly without warning. Oh, it's okay, it's just telling you not to camp under trees. Much narrower road here. Well, it's probably going to open out. It's a bit ironic, we're in the national park and we have not seen any wildlife whatsoever, but go out on the highway and it's all there.
Yeah.
Maybe there's too many rules in the national park for the animals.
Exactly, they don't like it.
They don't like it. Look at that red earth.
Makes a beautiful contrast with the green and the blue.
It certainly does. Oh, and we're de-hitched, by the way. We're not pulling Georgia 2 along here. No.
We decided that wouldn't be a good idea.
No. Georgia 2 is back at the campground. because we're staying another night.
And we've also taken off our towing mirrors because they would have been slamming up and down all over
Yep.
the place.
You can see the amount of bull dust that as they've graded the roads, it's almost like in the winter in Canada with the snow.
On
the
the
snow,
side,
yeah, the
piling
snow
up.
piled on the side of the road.
Yeah.
And this bull dust is so fine, it gets into everything.
Oh, every nook and every cranny.
Yep, like the box of Tony will be full of bull dust.
Yeah.
Look at the patty melons here. Like there's heaps of them. Yeah.
I think this is the most I've ever seen in one hit.
Yep. Like they are everywhere. They obviously like this climate. The road is just lined with them.
Yeah. Both sides.
Yeah, both sides, just in this area.
Yeah. Oh, we've seen the odd one or
Yeah.
two, you know, but this is just, wow.
All of a sudden, all the scrubby underbrush is gone and we've got trees. Quite open. Oh, back to scrubby underbrush. Just saw some emus.
Yay!
So there is life here. Finally, a lake. We were
Yeah, come
just
up.
about ready to give up.
Come up over the hill and there
this
you
is
go. Just like I said, a mirage.
Yeah, Condilla Lake.
Lake and camping area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we did come across a caravan heading out. So, and the little sign on my little map that I have says that caravans can camp here. You need an off-road, obviously.
I would think so. It would take a long time in Georgia to get in here.
Yep.
So we've got lots of green right near the shore.
I think I'll stop filming.
So it's just the end
So
of the
this is the end of the line.
Right. Okay.
Just go down and see if there's anywhere that's a walk to the lake, or maybe
we'll
not.
just park right here. I think. Just gonna pop over and have a look here.
So this is the camping area. Not many sites. So we're just walking from the campground to the lake.
Very sandy.
Very sandy.
Yes.
But how far would you say the lake is from the campground?
200 meters?
200 meters? 300? Neat trees. It's neat, almost a little bit prehistoric. It's a bit freaky looking. It's cool, but I don't know if it's worth the effort. What do you think?
I don't know if you'd make this your only destination.
No, I wouldn't make it a
If
destination.
it's along the way and something you want to see,
Then it's interesting, but I definitely wouldn't like drive 2 weeks
just to come here.
just to come here. This is a better view of it. Definitely not a swimming lake. Here we got emus. Just lilies.
4 of them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
there's
hang
another
on.
one.
Here comes
Oh,
another
another one. Oh, look at them all.
one. Wow.
Get going. Wow.
Is that it?
It's filming now.
Yes. It's Mom and kids. So we're now off to do the river drive, and all that dust there is just what we've kicked up. So we're turning here.
Yeah, we will turn here. This is the river drive.
And this is the Murray River, isn't it? Or is it the Darling? Darling. Just a second, I'll check. I had a 50% chance of being right, and I wasn't. It's the Darling River.
Darling River.
Oh, this is pretty.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Again, because we're
and
right
I think
by
the river's right there. But you can't see it.
You've got the river gums.
Yeah, it's a pretty muddy river.
Yeah. So this is all
yeah, there's... Wow, yes, very muddy.
all floodwaters from Queensland.
Yep. We'll pull in here.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Excuse me again.
Bless you again. And there we've got the mighty Darling River. For folks back in Canada, it's quite a famous river in Australia.
It is.
It runs, oh God, how...
Is it the longest or second longest river in Australia?
I don't know.
We'll
One or
report
the
that.
other.
We will report that.
Yeah, very nice. Very pleasant drive.
Oh, there's somebody camped down here. Oh, you people, caravans.
Oh, it's a campground.
So this is fun.
Oh, now that would be nice to camp there. I'd go for that.
Yeah, at least you got right by the water.
Yeah, you're by the water and the beautiful trees.
And you got a toilet.
Wow, look at the trees.
Lovely trees.
They are brilliant.
Generator going.
I think so. Bloody generator.
Look nice.
That look nice, yes. Along there. This is really pretty. The color of the water doesn't exactly make you want to jump in and swim.
Yeah, but it's like the Fraser River. Fraser's a mighty river.
Really pretty. There's a campground just over there that Neil's just walked in front of. This would be lovely to camp here.
Nice breeze.
Yep.
Water.
Finally, a wedge-tailed eagle. This is a bit bizarre. This is the wet weather road. So we abandoned the regular road. I don't know why they wouldn't make this the main road coming in.
Yeah.
Whereas all the signs everywhere from the highway point to the other road to come in. So it'll be interesting to see.
Maybe this comes in on the other side of Menindee.
Maybe. It'll be interesting to see how far it's paved and where it comes out. Much better road, particularly if you're bringing a caravan in here. Well, this brought us back to Menindee. Like, much better way to go. Just saw a sign saying farm fresh eggs, I think. So we're turning around.
And that was that road there,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah. See,
And we'll
there's
go
the
see what-
national park sign.
Kinchega National Park.
Farm fresh eggs and honey.
Here we got ourselves served eggs, jams, herbs, cucumbers, and pumpkins. Honey sale, eggs, and poultry. Well, we might get lucky. Unfortunately, there was no eggs, but we got
Some quince jelly
quince jelly.
and mandarin jelly jam.
Yeah, now I'm sure Emmy would like the quince jelly.
I think
This is the main drag of Menindee. There's the post office. Down there was the hotel that we had dinner at last night, and this, we think, is the grocery store. So here's another one of these really wide roads. We're now heading out to Main Weir to hopefully see Burke and Will's expedition site and Menindee's own Tarzan, whatever that is. Whoa!
Okay.
Yeah. And we scored some farm fresh eggs at another little Honesty Box place just down the road from the one that we got the jams from.
Yeah.
And we got a dozen farm fresh eggs for $6.
$6.
$6, and we were paying $6 for half a dozen everywhere else, and they weren't farm fresh. Oh, that looks pretty nice. This is Lake Pamamaru. Nice beach, yeah. Much nicer than the Kawa Winter. Very nice. It looks brilliant. Looks like there's people camped out on the beach. That's right, she said there was free camping all along here. Very nice. If we come back here, that's where we'll camp. And this is going into Burke and Will's campsite. But is the expedition site right here, or is it just called this
Yeah, I don't know.
Department of Water and Resources? I think it's...
There's a sign over there.
Ah, okay. Oh, is that the dig tree?
I don't know, the dig tree.
Dig tree, that's right, it's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that must be it right there. So this is the site on Pamamaru Creek for the base camp of the 1860 Burke and Wills expedition. The party included 15 men, 23 horses, 27 camels, and 21 tons of stores. Wow. When he first arrived here, Menindee was still just an outpost, with no other settlement between here and the vast interior. Look at the pelicans. Goodness. Certainly a slew of them. This would be nice to camp here as well. And Menindee had its own Tarzan. Norm Edwards performed a range of feats including high wire balancing acts, contortions, and bending iron bars in his teeth. He was training at one point to feature in a Tarzan-type movie to be made in Queensland, but unfortunately it never came to fruition. Huh. He ended up returning here and resuming a life of fishing in the lakes and river, and continued to delight local crowds at the local swimming days on the river.
Look at the pelicans out.
Yeah. Back to the pelicans.
See,
Yeah, they're all fishing.
they're all bobbing down.
They're fishing in unison. They all bob down and all come back up. Oh darn, I missed it. Down they go. Back up. Isn't that weird?
Chasing little fishies.
It's almost like they're performing a dance. Synchronized swimming.
Huh.
We got one solitary fellow who's just not going to follow the crowd. And this is a nice big campground, lots of flat sites, easy for vans. And there's actually a toilet block, and you're right by the river. Pretty cool. It's nice because it's free camping.
Yeah. And if we have a fridge that works, we could do that.
We could do that. I was going to say if I'd known this was here, we'd come here, but we couldn't because our fridge doesn't work.
By the time we get out here and shake it, rattle, roll, it won't.
Yeah. Oh, and I tried to start it this morning and it wouldn't start either. Yeah, all along here. A lot, and it's very flat.
All the way from that Burke and Wills camp, there's an access road going down.
Yep.
And you'll see caravans all along here. People walking along the beach. You got a beach because, of course, it's not in flood.
And they've also drained part of this lake because of the floods in Queensland, because this will start filling up. So you see the caravans free camping along here?
Yep.
I mean, look at this one. It's got a good setup. Look at the view.
Yep. All of them.
So it's about 8 kilometers on gravel road, I would say, before you hit this bitumen.
Yeah.
And the road's pretty good. There's just a couple of corrugated areas. That's now, who knows what it's like next time you come.
That's just it, who knows.
Yeah. Not sure what that is in the road. Looks like a cat. It's not a quall.
It's a feral pussy.
Yep, feral cat. That's the first irrigation system that we've seen on this trip.
Yeah, I can't recall any really.
No. And I guess because they're close to the Menindee lakes, that's where they get their water
right, 'cause
from.
the lake's just there,
Yeah.
so they can just pump it in.
And the Darling. It seems like they do regular upkeep on this road though, because we just went past a tractor that was pulling, it was dragging something.
It was dragging something along the surface that was helping to smooth things out,
Just-
probably
yeah.
filling in the corrugations and stuff.
Yeah, so that was kind of interesting.
Or
So basically, you just turn off at that big building,
the big white building.
big white building, and it's called the Main Weir Road, and go for about 9 kilometers. And there's just beautiful camping and beautiful
Free
lake. Yeah, free camping with amenities block. You know, just toilets, but that's all you need. So it's about 27 degrees. What a far cry from yesterday when it was hard pressed to hit 20.
Yeah, beautiful day actually.
Gorgeous. Back at the caravan park.
Georgia too.
So here's the lake at the caravan park. And we're up there behind those bushes. So again, this lake oftentimes is completely empty, but when it's full, it goes up to there. And as we said earlier, they have drained, well not drained, but drained some of the water out of Lake Pamaru, I think it's called, that we showed you on our drive where all the caravans are free camping beside, because they're waiting for the big waters to come from Queensland from all the rain they've had there. They'll work their way down here and then they'll fill the Darling. It's a lot further than it looked from the campground. And we have a couple of pelicans, I think, there. Finally at the water's edge. Got a pelican out there. Out there. I'm not sure what that metal thing is. Beautiful colors in the grasses. Yeah. Look at how quickly that sun is setting. Doesn't take long. And bang, it's gone. We've relocated down closer to the water, and pretty soon the colors should change. And we've got a little bit of cloud tonight, which should really help make it more magic. So as we're waiting here for the beautiful colors to come, I think we'll just do our synopsis here.
Why not?
Yeah.
Let's do that. Right.
It's been a really good day.
Great day. Had a great day. We did a couple of great drive. We went out to the old historic Wool.
That was, I
Really enjoyed that.
yeah, I was really quite impressed
Highly
with that.
recommend that. Yeah, I mean, if you're into that sort of thing, I guess it'd be boring probably for a young kid.
But I don't know, there were a couple of young kids
Yeah.
there who actually seemed quite entranced with it.
Yeah. Then we did the lake drive. Which was
At
okay.
first, like when we came here yesterday, we thought, well, Menindee lakes, yeah, what's the big deal about them? I mean, they're fine, they're a lake, like rip, poop, bang, basically.
Yeah.
But after today, and just doing the driving around here, particularly for me, when we did the bit of river drive down by on
along the Darling River.
Pampanua or Pamparua, whatever lake.
Oh,
and,
down there, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and you could camp right along the lake.
A big section of free
Oh,
camping
huge
right along
section.
the shore. Yeah.
And
if you had a fridge at work, that would be good.
yeah, exactly. We will have a fridge. So I wouldn't make, as we said before, wouldn't make this a destination like to drive here,
And
just
turn around
here
and go home.
and go home. No, but definitely to do out to Broken Hill and then add 2 days to your trip and come out here, definitely worth it, I think.
And if you're going to be coming out this way and you want to do other things, is it Mungo or something?
Yeah, supposedly
But
just
apparently, interesting stuff, but apparently, according to this couple we talked to, the road was absolutely terrible. It knocked one of their doors off, fell off of
their
their
van,
caravan
yeah.
and stuff like that. A newish van. So yeah, I would check the road conditions if you're planning to do something like that.
Yeah. But otherwise, yeah, definitely would. It was a good day. Another good day.
Yeah, yeah, and we're watching the sunset, which is nice.
Yeah, so now we're just waiting for the beautiful colors, which we know will come. And we've got just a couple of little extra clouds tonight, so that should really...
Yeah, we didn't have those last night.
No, so that should help.
Yeah.
And we saw emus,
Feral cat,
goats, pelicans, goats.
pelicans. Yeah.
What else did we see
Did we
today?
see kangaroo, skippy? I don't know. Just dead ones.
Yeah, just dead ones. But yeah, another good day.
Yep.
To me, that is beautiful right now. The colors with the tree. So would you say the tree is silhouetted?
Yeah, it is.
There he goes to take the perfect picture. I'd never tell him this, but he really is cute with his photography. And he takes some really bloody nice pics. He just has the eye for the angle and the lighting. Love the colors right now. Look at the color of the water and the horizon. Now look at the colors there. That is just stunning.
Wow, look at the color now, eh?
Yeah. We're slowly starting to lose the color.
Mm-hmm.
I just love that tree.
Which one?
The one right in front of me.
That tree?
That tree.
You sure?
Yeah. It makes me think of Africa.
Oh.
Gotta do one more time.
One more time.
I just can't tell which lighting was the best. I mean, look at that. This is not enhanced. There's no filters.
It's just
This is
the way
just
it is.
what it is. Like,
Yeah.
whoa.
It's pretty bloody awesome, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And it's times like this that I actually do get a little bit spiritual.
Oh, wow. It's Mother Earth.
Mm.
There's nothing wrong with being spiritual with Mother Earth,
No.
I reckon.
Beautiful. How I'm going to filter through all of these videos and pictures down to what's the best, I don't know. And it's so sad. So many people come and watch the sun go down, and then when the sun's gone, boom, they
As soon
bugger
as
off.
the sun goes past the horizon, boom, they're gone.
And like it's an hour later that it's,
Yeah.
wow.
Well, I said to that fellow when he was taking, I said, give it a half an hour. He goes, oh, I said, yeah, last night, blah, blah, blah.
Don't know if you can see the star in the sky up to the far right. Be nice if you could. And this is the last of it as the light is fading. It's been spectacular, I think.